not just on a Chicago level or a US level, but on a global level. There's huge famine, starvation, food insecurity everywhere, right? The waste, though, 40% of that happens upstream. And you never hear about that in harvesting, in storage, in distribution. 40%, like from McKinsey did a study in 2022, they showed it by product, from wheat to tomatoes to everything. We tend to focus on what's organic, what's sustainable. We're missing the low-hanging big fruit. So I'm hoping that the marriage of AI and procurement and being very savvy about managing food waste upstream will help. And then you hit the nail on the head that there's 30% of waste at the consumer level. Us at home throwing out food because we overbought or it's spoiled, we don't want to use it. In restaurants, over-serving and not chucking it. So there's got to be a lot addressed, and smaller portions is at the heart of it.
Yeah, and I do think that there is consumer pushback on this. You know, there's a lot of pressure. If you give a smaller portion in the restaurants, you can get pushback from that. And an example would be like I charge for bread. And the reason I charge for bread, first of all, the price escalated, but also I got tired of throwing it in the garbage. I got tired of seeing massive amounts of it come back that people said they wanted and then didn't eat. And it's like there was a whole stream of people, 300 people that had nothing better to do than talk about the fact that I charge for bread on a neighborhood in Northbrook. And I had a lot of people defend me, and I ended up putting stuff on the table that talked about Jory. He's from Benison's Bakery. It's a family-owned business. He's part of the market. He works very hard. His baker left, and he spent 3 months on the overnight shift. Now, he's my age. Okay, I don't know that I would do that. I might shut it down before I do 3 months on the overnight shift. But the point is that, you know, we have to, as professionals and as industry leaders, we have to bring the public along. In some way, we have to educate and help them come to our site. And I really liked when restaurants started doing small plates. I like that shareable small plate theme. I think it's valuable because it ends up not being wasted. And when I, you know, have to sit there and argue about whether we should serve 8 ounces or 7 ounces on a skirt steak, because if we drop the portion size, we're going to get criticized. That we're not there yet. The consumers need to come with us.
So Sarah, at Sanctuary, I've eliminated entrees, period.
Yeah.
Because an entree is the death knell of a meal. I mean, you always enjoy your appetizers, you're having a good time, then this big-ass dish shows up. Like, you know? It's always, and it's, I don't know what it is, but 80% of restaurants, the entree is always mediocre compared to the appetizer. I don't know
mine
what
aren't.
I don't know if the chef gets bored or what, but in my case, I have small plates and mid plates. Take it or leave it. You can have 3 of those if you want, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm working on a project where I was designing a menu, helping with a menu, and the majority of it is small plates, and then I had a fish, a meat, a vegetarian pasta dish on entrees, and that's it. And I feel like these are ways that restaurateurs are trying to make change. We're trying to do the right thing in terms of waste.
But it's very much at the consumer level, at the grocery store level, every level. Don't just blame restaurants for all food waste by any means. Own it.
And it might be harder in Chicago to reduce portion size.
Yes, Midwest.
It's just there's expectations. I got my car towed. Have you ever had your car towed? Have you ever been down to Lower Wacker picking up your car?
I bet everybody here.
Don't. It's not. Don't. But the woman in front of me who was older had a big Maggiano's to-go bag, and the cashier was taking her money, and she goes, "Oh, Maggiano's the best," and she goes, "Yeah, it was worth getting my car towed." And I'm like, "No, it wasn't.
Oh, wow.
No, it wasn't. Don't say that. Don't say that." Anyway.
I'll say I completely agree with Rohini because it's not just at the restaurant. I mean, it really is much further upstream where a lot of the waste comes from. But one of the shifts that I've enjoyed seeing is smaller menus and specialization. So going to places, and we're seeing a lot more individuals who get excited knowing this place is going to serve these three things brilliantly because that's all that they do. So you know that they're going to be very strong at it. But the deli, the old school menu of having 20 pages of something, that typically will result in more waste because that's just a lot of ingredients. So I'm really enjoying that shift towards these specialized bakeries, these pop-ups right now that have much smaller menus. They're much more specialized. They're much more streamlined. And I think that is helping some of that reduction of waste too.
Yeah, and